Welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Casio opens virtual G-Shock store. New school building in border district of Rajouri brought cheers to students. And POK faces severe load shedding, stooge administration take no cognizance. Let's begin the show. India recently hosted the new edition of Raisina Dialogue 2024 in New Delhi, which was attended by global leaders who shared their views on important challenges facing the world. They discussed issues including globalization and role of technology in modern world, climate change and counter-terrorism. A report.
The world order is changing from being unipolar to multipolar. This transformation is predicted on India's rise to prominence as a global leader, able to maintain its independence while simultaneously claiming pride in being one of the world's oldest civilizations. In a bid to rise and shine its glory around the world, India recently hosted Raisina Dialogue 2024 in capital New Delhi. The conference on geopolitics and geoeconomics demonstrated a dedication to global cooperation and economic growth under the leadership of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This three-day dialogue was made more global by the participation of leaders from about 115 different countries. While highlighting India's burgeoning global presence, External Affairs Minister S. J. Shankar emphasized the need for multilateral reform during his closing remarks at the Raisina Dialogue's inaugural event.
When the UN was invented, it had at least about approximately 50 members. We have 4 times the members. So it's a common sense proposition. That you can't continue the same way when you have 4 times the members. If you look at the last 5 years, all the big issues, in a way, we have not been able to find multilateral solutions. So the results are also, or the lack of results demonstrate the case for reform. In many cases, the rules have been gamed. We have today, we speak about globalization, for example, and the fact is that the world trading rules have been gamed, we have a lot of our challenges today also emanate from how countries have used that for their benefit at the expense of the international.
The theme for Raisina Dialogue 2024 edition was Chaturanga, and that is conflict, contest, cooperate, create. This year, the Raisina Dialogue is a beacon of hope and collaboration, uniting thought leaders, policy makers and visionaries to explore solutions to our world's most pressing challenges. During the event, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis said India had a vital role in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict amid the rising geopolitical tensions around the globe. In order to address the ongoing conflict in the European heartland, the Greek Prime Minister urged countries to use their influence on the international scene.
This 9th edition of the Raisina Dialogue is taking place at a time of heightened geopolitical tensions, a protracted war in Ukraine, new conflict in the Middle East, where the violence that has erupted goes beyond the direst predictions. There's a horrifying death toll of civilians. There's a risk of regional destabilization. There's no clear path, at the moment at least, to a sustainable de-escalation. As for the war in Ukraine, the unthinkable has happened. A war in the European heartland. It is still raging on with devastating consequences. 2 years, almost to the date, since Russia attacked Ukraine.
Foreign Minister of Latvia, Krišjānis Kariņš, participated in the event and talked about bilateral relations with India. He informed that the diplomatic relations between the two countries are very good and are going in a positive direction. He also affirmed that India has a huge role to play in the Indo-Pacific region.
For India and Latvia, the relationship right now is very good. In Latvia, we have a growing number of students from India learning in the sciences, in medicine, in other subjects. And here in India, we have a growing number of companies, the Latvian companies, that are very successfully exporting. And I think in the future, we could look just to grow that. There's a good base. And I think there's plenty of room for very positive growth in the future. I think we view it very positively. So right now we have companies exporting into India, and I know that there are companies that are looking of maybe also moving some manufacturing here. So in terms of an investment environment, I think it's a good investment environment. And the important thing is that we have the communication, the travel back and forth. And as we get more people contact, as there's more economic contact, I think that there's a future in that as well.
The Raisina Dialogue is a multilateral conference held annually in New Delhi, focusing on geopolitical and geoeconomics. It provides a platform for diverse perspectives, fostering understanding and collaboration world over.
Moving on. Japanese company Casio has been at the forefront of creating cutting-edge G-Shock models, pushing the boundaries of what a watch can endure and embody. Recently, Casio has now opened a virtual G-Shock store space called A World in the Metaverse to encourage a culture of outfitting avatars with timepieces, building on the strong support G-Shock enjoys from users for its shock resistance and unique designs. On the other side, Yokohama City hosted an innovation promotion event to address social issues and spread cutting-edge knowledge among youngsters and adults alike.
G-Shock is a water and shock resistance watch launched 4 decades ago by Casio. Since then, the Japanese company has been creating innovative G-Shock models for its customers. Casio has now opened a virtual G-Shock store space called A World in the Metaverse to encourage a culture of outfitting avatars with timepieces. Building on the strong support G-Shock enjoys from users for its shock resistance and unique designs.
特に VR とかは新しいことに興味がある方がたくさんおられると考えております。昔ながらのファンの方もいますけれども、新しいファン獲得というのも非常に重要だと考えておるので、今回の取り組みを始めさせていただきました。で、今回2つのワールドを用意いたしまして、1つは G-Shock のカスタマイズが VR 上でできるというような体験と、もう一つは G-Shock の耐久性が体験できるワールドということで、2つのコンテンツを用意させていただいております。
Virtual reality G-Shock offers the option to customers to personalize the original G-Shock with an avatar.
コントローラーで操作することで、このように分解図を見ることが可能です。で、店舗のメインコンテンツなのですが、白い G-Shock が展示されています。で、こちらの G-Shock はパーツと色を選ぶことでカスタマイズすることが可能です。このようにパーツと色を選ぶと、それに応じたものがどんどんカスタマイズできます。で、ちょうどいいサイズに変更したら、自分の腕につけて、このように装着することができます。カスタマイズ体験を通じて、ユーザー同士の交流が生まれるように設計しています。G-Shock としては、今回は耐久試験というストーリーを題材にしたんですけれども、商品ごとにたくさんストーリーがあるので、そういったストーリーをユーザーにもっと知ってもらえるために、コンテンツ化していけたらなと考えています。
The strongest point of G-Shock is its toughness. Participants in the virtual reality world can witness its resilience in a variety of environments, including the sea, mountains, and space.
なぜ G-Shock が強いのかといったことですとか、G-Shock ってどういうブランドなのか感じられるコンテンツになっておりますので、まだ G-Shock って名前は聞いたことあるけどどんなものかわからないという方ですとか、G-Shock の名前も知らないといった方は、ぜひ今回のワールドに遊びに来ていただいて、G-Shock の世界観を感じていただければなというふうに考えております。
Based on 40 years of functional development and marketing efforts, G-Shock will gain more admirers worldwide in the near future. Yokohama city is well known for being a welcoming and alluring destination for tourists. However, the city is developing into a more innovative metropolis as well as a popular tourist destination. Recently, Yokohama City hosted an innovation promotion event with the help of 140 businesses, organizations, and educational institutions. The main goals of the event were to address social issues, adapt to future social situations, and spread cutting-edge knowledge among youngsters and adults alike. Algae are also the food base for almost all aquatic life. The JFE engineering staff explains and navigates growing algae. It aims to share knowledge about how algae contributes to the environment. Children who took part received kits for growing algae. The kids paid attention to the noise produced when an electric current passes through fruits. Family members also shared first-hand experience with electricity science.
未来体験が言い換えると実証実験というものになってまして、企業がすごくみなとみらい R&D 増えたりとかスタートアップで館内が増えてたりするんですけども、こういうイベントを一つして、いろいろな方に実証実験を見ていただいて、企業がこうアイデアを得たりとか、ヒントを得てよりイノベーティブな活動に、参加できるように進めたいっていうのが一つ大きなコンセプトになります。
This seminar aimed to introduce successful innovation for future entrepreneurs. In the seminar, government staff recommended challenging and unprecedented issues. A successful Japanese lady in Singapore introduced the differences between Singapore and Japan.
I'm excited to see the reaction of my little daughter and let her have some fun.
Future cutting-edge technology was shown in various places in Minato-mirai, Yokohama, and a large number of people, including children and the elderly, enjoyed it.
みなとみらいとか例えば普段来てもいろいろな実証実験とか未来を体験できるのがもう日常的にモビリティが走ったりロボットが動いてたりみたいなのができるこう街であるとすごく未来を感じれるのかなと思ってます。
A driverless EV car runs on the road as a demonstration experiment. It is 25 km per hour, level 2 with 8 passengers.
車内が非常に広いのがすごく印象的でした。すごく慎重に運転しているなっていう感じがしたので、安心感はあります。
Yokohama is now developing into a forward-thinking metropolis that embraces social issues and the aspirations of its citizens.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Iraq has completed construction of around 60% of an undersea tunnel connecting the country's southernmost coastal region to international trade links through Turkey. The tunnel is expected to stretch 2,400 meters all the way from Basra's large commercial port of Al-Faw and is part of a larger scheme to develop the port. Iraq hopes the submerged tunnel will create a shorter transportation corridor between the Middle East and Europe, increasing Iraqi trade revenues from the transport of goods. This tunnel is considered the first of its kind in the Middle East. Two major Pakistan political parties said that they had reached a formal agreement to form a coalition government, ending 10 days of intense negotiations after an inconclusive national election did not return a clear majority. The agreement between Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's Pakistan People's Party and the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz of three-time Premier Nawaz Sharif ends days of uncertainty. The agreement between Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's Pakistan People's Party and the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz of three-time Premier Nawaz Sharif ends days of uncertainty and negotiations after the February 8 elections produced a hung National Assembly. Bhutto Zardari said that former Premier Shehbaz Sharif, who was seated beside him, would be the coalition's candidate for Prime Minister and that the parties would push to form government as soon as possible. The delay in forming a government in the nuclear-armed nation of 241 million has caused concern as Pakistan is grappling with an economic crisis amid slow growth and record inflation, rising militant violence, and needs a stable administration with the authority to take tough decisions. South Korean patients said they were worried over delays in treatment after thousands of trainee doctors at major hospitals resigned to protest a government plan to admit more students into medical schools. At Seoul's Severance Hospital, the father of a 9-year-old torticollis patient said they had to wait longer than usual to see a doctor, adding he was worried his daughter's surgery would be delayed. South Korea's rapidly aging population of 52 million had 2.6 doctors per 1,000 people in 2022, far below the average of 3.7 for countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. The government plans to boost medical school admissions by 2,000 starting in the 2025 academic year, with a goal of adding 10,000 doctors by 2035. The current annual student intake is about 3,000, but doctors and medical student groups say there are already sufficient physicians and an increase in numbers could lead to unnecessary medical procedures and undermine the finances of the National Health Insurance Plan.
Severe load shedding and inflated electricity bills have perturbed residents of POK. The affected sections of the society are irked with the administration. Despite producing massive amounts of electricity through several hydroelectric plants established in the region, POK receives not even 400 megawatts of electricity required to meet the power requirements. Along with load shedding, residents of the illegally occupied territory are facing multi-pronged problems in POK. We have a report.
The issue of severe load shedding and inflated power bills has been affecting all sections of society in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. People are irked as they are forced to pay high prices for merely hours worth of electricity. They say it is unfair that even after generating thousands of megawatts of electricity through hydropower projects in the region, they are made to suffer.
लोड शेडिंग हो रही है, ये एक जो बरक़ियात है या वापटा है, ये एक कारोबारी इदारा है, ये आपसे पैसे लेता है। और फिर इसमें एक और चीज़ जो मैं जिसके ऊपर मेरा हमेशा से एतराज़ रहा है, 2015 में आपको याद होगा कि मैंने दिन रात धरना दिया और मुझे अल्लाह ने नई ज़िंदगी दी। खौफनाक किस्म का एहतजाज था हमारा, और अभी तक ये चीज़ें जो है वो हल तलब हैं और एड्रेस तलब हैं, और बार बार जो है लोग इस इश्यूज़ के लिए अपने घरों से बाहर निकलते हैं, एहतजाज करते हैं, तो इसे प्रॉपर एड्रेस करना चाहिए।
There have been several protests in recent months, but authorities have kept on neglecting these issues. Locals believe they are being forced to bear the brunt of Pakistan's failed economic policies, and there is no relief in sight in near future.
हम यहाँ एक एहसास खित्ते में रह रहे हैं। कश्मीर के लोग जो है एहसास हैं। इन लोगों के पास जो है कोई फैक्ट्रियाँ नहीं हैं, कोई रोज़ी रोटी का मासवाए कारोबार छोटे मोटे करने के कोई और ऑप्शन और ज़रिया नहीं है, या फिर सरकारी मुलाजमतें हैं।
There are multi-pronged issues affecting the people of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The region is suffering high inflation, spike in food prices, and other essentials required to run their livelihood. In these challenging times for POK, the administration, rather than providing some relief to the residents, is continuously increasing taxes on electricity and finding new ways to persecute locals.
Bringing joy and comfort to the students of Government Higher Secondary School at Dehri Ralyot in the border district of Rajouri, the government has established a new academic building. The school now has the state-of-the-art labs and smart classes to enhance the learning opportunities for the students. In the border area and hilly terrain, the construction of the school building was certainly a challenge, but also an enduring gift to the students. The development of this modern school would certainly encourage the school children to study hard and bring laurels for the country. Take a look.
The good education is the bedrock of national growth. With an aim to develop the young minds, the government is endeavoring to provide quality infrastructure and education in every district of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. In the border district of Rajouri, the administration has established a new school building for the students of Government Higher Secondary School in Dehri Ralyot. The new school building has been equipped with the state-of-the-art science labs and smart classrooms to provide quality education.
हमारे लिए क्लासरूम्स बन गई हैं, डेस्क वगैरह आ गए हैं, उसके बाद बहुत सारे और लैब बन गया है, स्मार्ट क्लासेस हैं हमारे लिए। उसके बाद और भी यहाँ पे अभी बिल्डिंग भी कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए है, जिससे हमें बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा हुआ है। फिर लैब्स हैं, पहले साइंस की लैब्स भी नहीं होती थी और हमारी प्रॉपर क्लासेस होती हैं, साइंस स्ट्रीम की भी, नॉन साइंस स्ट्रीम की भी, आर्ट स्ट्रीम के भी सारे लेक्चर्स हैं।
Under the Samagra Shiksha scheme of the government, information and communication technology labs have also been set up to keep the students up to date with the developments happening all across the globe. A number of residential buildings have also been constructed so that teachers coming from other districts could save travel time and stay available for the students.
हमें स्कूल में आए हुए तकरीबन 2 साल हो गए। 2 साल से पहले तो ना यहाँ पे कोई बैठने की जगह होती थी, ना बच्चों की और ना टीचर्स के लिए कोई फैसिलिटीज़ थी। अब तो टीचर्स के लिए रेजिडेंशियल क्वार्टर भी हैं, जो दूर के टीचर हैं आउट ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट वो यहाँ पे रह सकते हैं। और हमारे लिए भी सर ने चिल्ड्रन पार्क बनाई है, प्रिंसिपल सर ने।
The school authorities too are supporting the development drive and working shoulder to shoulder with the government. Apart from regular subjects, vocational training in health and agriculture are also added to the school curriculum. The students can now choose from diverse fields of interest and expand their horizon of knowledge.
मुझे स्कूल में तकरीबन तीसरा ईयर है और इस 3 ईयर में मुझे काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट दिखाई दे रही है। इस स्कूल में हर ईयर कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ होती हैं जो कि पहले नहीं थी। ये कल्चरल एक्टिविटी कुछ ह्यूमन सर की वजह से हो रही हैं और इसमें काफ़ी स्कूल में इम्प्रूवमेंट हो रही है, इसकी बिल्डिंग में काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट हो रही है। ये देख सकते हैं आपकी हमारे अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन चल रही है काम इसका, और ये हमारी अभी कुछ ही अर्सा हुआ है हमें ये न्यू बिल्डिंग बनी हुई मिली है और इसमें अच्छे से स्टडी भी कर पाते हैं हम।
The construction of the school building in hilly terrains of the border district was certainly a challenge for the administration. But it is also an enduring gift to the students who are now filled with excitement and are ready to bring laurels for the Union Territory and the whole nation.
Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.